A police officer consoles a baby while another tries to revive his lifeless mother.
And 2 babies in the back.
She's gone into cardiac arrest after overdosing on opioids. This body cam footage was released by the Boynton Beach Police Department in Florida in the hopes of deterring drug abuse. But America is losing its war on drugs. This coroner's office in Pennsylvania says it's already used up all its resources halfway through the year.
What we've seen in recent years is the coroners exhaust their budget by the middle of the year, and it's largely due to the growth in drug-related death. In 2014, 40% of our autopsies were death due to a substance. In 2016, more than 60% were deaths due to a substance.
91 Americans die every day from drug abuse. More than 60 of them overdose on prescription medication. As stronger drugs enter the market, the cost of saving lives is rocketing. Patients are arriving at hospitals in worse condition, need longer stays and higher levels of treatment. And researchers say the epidemic is draining the country of more than $78 billion each year. These drugs aren't just coming from illegal labs and smugglers. A recent lawsuit in West Virginia accuses the country's 3 biggest pharmaceutical distributors of shipping 423 million pills into a county of just 19,000 people over the past 5 years. And more than 24 cities have filed cases against Big Pharma in the past year for deceptive marketing and unethically pushing opioids through medical practitioners. The government's swinging into action as well, with the president declaring the fight against drugs a national emergency.
The opioid crisis is an emergency, and I'm saying officially right now it is an emergency. It's a national emergency. We're going to spend a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of money on the opioid crisis.
But suing the companies for selling drugs that are legal will be difficult. And experts say the president's actions are just the first step in what will be a long fight against the menace of opioids.
Well, it remains to be seen what this really means. It can trigger the availability of emergency resources, but given the various crises we've had already this year, a lot of those resources are depleted, and so it really depends whether the president asks Congress for additional resources to support an emergency response.
But for those losing their lives and loved ones to drugs, that response may already be too late. Mobin Nasir, TRT World.
Joining me now from Paris is TRT World's editor-at-large, Craig Copetas. Craig, great to have you as always. How did the US get to where it is right now on the opioid crisis?
Well, they got there because they've been dealing with a problem which has existed since humans first walked this earth, and that is how to alleviate pain. There has been, for many years, a chronic pain movement in the United States. When people are in pain, doctors want to treat them. This has created an industry, and the culprit in this industry is a drug called Oxycontin. And this drug, since the 90s, has been oversold, as Mobin's report indicated. And the way it was oversold, the maker of this, an outfit called Purdue Pharmaceuticals, would fly doctors to seminars and sell this drug, market this drug, and they never talked about the addiction risk. They didn't say that if you were a pregnant woman on this drug that your child would be soaked in opioids when it was born. And this is what has created this problem, America's desire to alleviate pain, whether it's physical or mental.
Craig, what are Trump's motives for tackling this opioid crisis in the way that he's doing now?
Well, it's very easy for the President of the United States to use his bully pulpit to declare war on drugs. He's not the first to do this. The problem with this one is that it is rooted in the pharmaceutical industry. The Sackler family, which controls OxyContin, for instance, developed a $14 billion fortune off the back of selling this drug. In 2007, for instance, they pled guilty for criminally misbranding OxyContin. It's reached such a point that last May, U.S. lawmakers sent a bipartisan letter to the World Health Organization warning that Sackler-owned companies were preparing to flood the world market with OxyContin, which, remember, Azar, is a legal narcotic according to the FDA. It might be legal, but it's killing people, and a lot of them.
A lot of things that we've talked about on this program are legal, but yet very dangerous. But is what Trump is proposing going to be enough to tackle the crisis?
No. No, the American way is to throw money at it. The Congress has only shelled out about $1 billion for drug treatment over the past 2 years, over a 2-year period. That's not nearly enough money, and it's not treating the cause of this. The cause is the pharmaceutical companies. They somehow have to get out of this pain-killing money business that addicts people, that has created this industry that generates so much money. What's happened here, that addiction has become an industry for the pharmaceutical companies. And that has got to stop. And whether Donald Trump can do that or not remains to be seen, because these are people who back his administration.
Craig, we don't appear to see the same kinds of problems in other countries. Why US in particular? Why is the US suffering from this problem?
Well, the U.S. likes its drugs. The U.S. always runs to Americans always run to the pharmacy when something hurts them, and the doctors are willing to write these prescriptions.
Okay.
It's
right.
I mean that's if you're in pain,
yeah,
you want relief.
Yes.
And the pharmaceutical companies have abused that, and that's very clear.
Yeah, absolutely. Craig Copetas in Paris, thank you so much.